Hi folks, my name is Mitch, aka M177A in game and also on Reddit, here to kind of show you guys an updated video of what I'm planning to do. I actually did a couple of more dry runs with the photo paper. This is in regards, of course, to the current giveaway that I'm trying to fulfill to make sure that everybody who won gets their prizes that were promised. So I know some of you guys have asked what the process is in terms of trying to make one of these things and what I go through and how resin is incorporated into the entire mix of everything. So after playing with resin for about a month now, I have learned quite a bit in terms of bubbles. Trying to make it smooth, trying to make it clear, trying to make sure that it's in the right temperature, in the right environment, making sure that it's balanced. There's so much that goes into crafting this type of stuff that I wasn't really actually expecting. But with that being said, this is all definitely a learning experience, and with the more attempts that I do with all this stuff, then the better I get and the more experience I gain. So right now I'm actually measuring out the amount of resin that I want to use for this current pour, and I actually want to use 10 mLs total of the hardener and also the resin base. The reason why that I'm only using 10 when I used 15 mLs before, according to my other videos that you might have seen, is because I'm actually only just doing one tonight. This is actually another test run that I'm doing. And if you can see the mat, you can't really, unless you have like awesome vision or something. The thing that I'm doing right now is I'm going to be making a little resin thing for my niece, and she requested Princess Jasmine. So I'm going to be doing this trial run for my niece so I can learn again from this here with Princess Jasmine. Same process of what I was doing earlier with the other ones. And I do have some end results that I want to show you guys. I realized that I did not put on my gloves, which is not too good. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more hardener. I've learned that if you don't have enough hardener, then, well, your project doesn't cure. And if it doesn't cure, then you'll never get anywhere with it. You have to start all over. That's going to suck. Okay, so let me just put on some gloves. I also want to talk about the current state of the game that we all love and I guess hate as well. So I'll be covering that during the mixing process. Let me turn this on real quick. So I have a light going on here. This is actually a desk lamp with an incandescent bulb, and the reason why is because I actually need the heat generated from it to allow for the mixing process and also the bubbles to escape. I have a silicone mixing stir. By the way, silicone is amazing when you're doing resin anything, just because it does not stick at all. So you can just peel it right off once the mixture is done hardening. So I had to modify the silicone stick because it was way too large for this dose cup. And okay, so I need to mix this for at least 5 minutes. This is super exciting. So I'll take this opportunity to kind of go over my position in the game So if you don't know this already, I've done a number of carries. I think I kind of put a name out for myself to try to help basically newer players or those who are having a little difficult time clearing limited time trials and certain events, and also the ones in the chambers. So basically, I I played this game for it feels like over 2 years, and ever since the introduction of the 7-star units, it's basically changed the entire dynamic of the game. Granted, you don't need 7-star units in order to achieve in order to complete most of the content of the game. However, you need 7-star units to to just enjoy the game in general. It's a little sad to say, but the 6-star dream with using those units made the game a lot more challenging, a lot more fun to play, I guess, in this sense. With the 7-star unit, it introduced a whole new set of skills for everyone, and a new way to play. However, if you only had a 6-star unit, then you're pretty much stuck with a unit that kind of sits on the bench. Especially if you have a 7-star team, that 6-star unit is probably never going to make its way onto your setup, with the exception of course, tanks and healers. The breakers, the DPS, those guys, rotate them out all the time. But if they're not 7-star, then they're not going to be able to dish out the damage to burn certain mobs or something like that. So I spent way too much money on this game. I felt like I was at least a whale, if not a pretty hefty dolphin in this sense. And it's come to my attention that I should really just stop spending any money in this game. There are plenty of games to play out there. I'm playing a different one as we speak. But at least with that particular game, the in-game currency, the resources like lapis, for example, is plentiful. They're not shy in giving out that. With the lapis in FFBE, it's insane. Even if they give you 100 lapis as compensation, you still need 50 more compensation just at 100 lapis each, just to get a pull on a banner. And it's the ban, you pull on the banner and it's 10 blues and 1 yellow, and then you have to wait all over again. Even with the introduction of the ads, 30-second ads 5 times a day, if you got those to work, it's still like you're still getting like 5 lapis, or if you're super lucky, then you'll get that 100 once in a blue moon. So it's very, very draining in terms of finances, and it's very, very draining in terms of basically just morale, because if you don't pull a duplicate 6-star unit, then there's really no chance of that unit ever coming onto your bench to play. And they have so many units. So not only that, it's the trying to pull, especially with Axstar coming around the corner, trying to pull Axstar on his banner just to get a rainbow, just to not get an on banner rainbow, and you get like a night delete or something, or you get a full win or whatever. Basically, something that is just so outdated from the current meta that even if you do have a 7-star, there's no point in doing that to begin with. So that kind of pushed me away from the game. The introduction of all these different types of bundles clearly shows the business model of the game, and I'm not crapping on it or anything, but the Golbez, Dark Mage Golbez or whatever, $75 to get one rainbow Golbez, 5-star, not even 7-star. You have to get 2 of those in order to if they sold 2 of those things. I didn't even look. I just looked at the bundle and I'm like, forget this. This is insane. That's $150. That's what Gumi is pricing these units. Granted, there's the UOC tickets. You get 2 a month. So every 5 months, then you have an opportunity to pick any unit that you want. That's not time limited. That's still something that I mean, I used the UOC once, and that was it. I've just been saving ever since because nothing's really standing out. Not only that, the orbs, arena orbs. I found myself waking up in the middle of the night just to burn some orbs, and event orbs too. I don't understand, like Steel Castle, you can have 10 orbs, you know, takes 1 hour to recharge 1 orb, and you burn through 10 and you're okay for the next 10 hours. Every 5 hours is insane. That means you have to pretty much either take a very light nap or set an alarm just to wake up, just to burn your orbs again. And that's if you want to manage your resources wisely. So there's no automated feature in this game either. You have to use the macro in order to, you know, auto farm for Earth Shrine or something. So yeah, it's just, I'm pretty much done with the game. I love the community, love you guys, love the subscribers. Thank you all for subscribing to my channel. I know some of the other content creators may have been feeling this way or may have already called it quits. I'm not a big one out there, but I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do. I might call it just quits completely, or I just might go back just to carrying the non-limited time trials or whatever, and take it from there. Because again, that's the main reason why I even created this channel to begin with, just so I can make carry videos and assist the people with those, because I don't want them dropping a lot of money on the game, and and it's just gonna suck. Okay, so enough ranting. I let this resin mixture sit for a couple of minutes. The reason why is just because after mixing, plenty of bubbles were generated in here, and what I'm doing is I'm just kind of letting them rise to the surface, the bubbles, that is, rise to the surface, and just letting them pop on its own. I do want to show the other things that I was doing. So if you see my other videos, I was talking about the photo paper. This is the result of one of them right here. Let me see if I can get some more light. There we go. It's a little better. Can't really use this. There we go. Okay, so this is the result of the photo paper. Bubbles are going to be there regardless. I don't have a degassing chamber, so I'm not going to be able to remove all that stuff. But overall, it turned out pretty decent, in my opinion at least. However, there's a little line on top. You see that little line right up here? And the reason why is because when I place this in the mold, I place another silicone mold right on top just to try to make it flat. The other ones that I've done before in the past, they were very bumpy. They were not very flat on the top. They were flat on the bottom just because it's the bottom of the mold anyways. So it kind of left a little lip around the edges, and this was another attempt at it. So I bought more molds. I got bigger ones just to cover the entire thing. The result of that experiment was that I used the wrong side of the mold. I just wish this thing could focus a little easier. There we go. Okay, so it made one side like a matte texture. The other side was clear. One side was a matte texture. So I used the wrong side. And what I'm going to be doing this time around is I'm going to be trying to use basically having a mold here, filling it up with the resin, and then just kind of capping it like that. And hopefully the surface of here will cover everything, won't leave any gap, and also make it smooth and clear. But I won't know until I try. So this is it's trial and error all the way through, especially with resin. Okay, so everything looks like it's set and ready to go. And I'm going to turn this on again just to check the mixture. Looks like everything, this is actually pretty clean. There might be a couple of dust particles in here, which is fine. I have a spray bottle, if I can actually find it, there it is, of acetone. And basically what that's used for is to get rid of any residue inside the mold itself. And it's super quick dry. So any of the dust particles pretty much just falls right out. And then I have a clean mold to work with. Okay. So that's there. Then I'm going to just soak the picture in the resin itself. There we go. Okay, I have tweezers available. Alright, and now it's time to pour the first pour. So this is the initial pour. I pour a little bit on here, fill this surface up, check out the bubbles that have dropped in here. Let's wipe that off. Okay, and there's plenty of bubbles in here, and I'm just going to take a heat gun and blow out the bubbles. Okay. Sorry about that. It's just the heat gun exhausting out the stored up energy in the heat, so it doesn't burn out the motor. It does that for about a minute or so. Alright. So let's take Jasmine out. And then here. Okay, so at this point there's very minimal bubbles. Looks like everything is going according to plan. If I kind of left this as it is right now, there's still sorry about that, my mic disconnected. There's still like a dip in the middle, like there's not enough resin on the picture itself. So I'm just gonna push this down and then pour more resin on top, and then if there's any bubbles that pop up or pop in, then I'm gonna blast them away with the heat gun, and then I'm gonna cover the project, and that's that. And then I can go to sleep. Okay, I'm gonna fill it pretty high. I know it'll pour over once I cover it, and that's my goal actually. My intent is to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some resin inside the mold itself. The one that I'm going to be used to covering the project with. And I don't know if this is going to do what I want it to do, but I'm going to hopefully, I'm going to believe that it will. And what I'm trying to achieve here is to have a airtight seal. The ones that I did before, like for example on Titus here, or Titus, sorry. I call him Titus though, still. Oops. It's there's still bumps on the front of the picture. There we go. So there's gaps, there's like little crevices, little holes, and that's what I'm trying to eliminate. It's a possibility that it's not going to work at all, but I won't know until I try. Okay, another round of heat gun, and then let's push Jasmine down again because it's raising up. She wants to get out of there. This is the great thing about the silicone mat. I don't have to worry about covering anything because the resin will just rip right off once it dries. Okay, so that's as good as it'll get, definitely. Let's go here. Nope. I don't think I have enough resin inside this other mold that I want to cover it with. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so Jasmine is a little off-centered, but that's okay. I kind of expected that already. So what I'll do next is I'm going to try to increase the width of the picture itself to kind of make it more centered in the square. So we're going to be reprinting these, obviously, to try to make it a little bit better. But looks like everything worked out. Hopefully the end result is something that I'm expecting. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks again for watching and hearing me rant. You all have a good night.